States and the Bluegrass State. This is your two dads.
Your two dads.
Two real dads giving you the real news.
Like Elon Musk is considering bringing. I'm already screwed up. I looked at the title card and I was like, "Oh, I forgot to change the subtitle."
I didn't see it.
Elon, yeah, good. It's off the screen now. Elon Musk is considering reincorporating Tesla in Texas because Delaware is full of dicks. Good morning, everybody. I'm JJ. This is rumble.com/JJW. This is Deacon, and that is Dave, and we are your two dads. We just don't count very well. We meet here Monday through Friday at 8 o'clock in the morning on the dot to drink coffee and talk news, politics, culture, pop culture, and all kinds of fun stuff.
Where's
fun,
our
amazing
names?
stuff.
Where's our names?
I was doing something yesterday. I'm so glad you asked, Deke. Yeah.
JJ is the type of guy. I just want to point out real quick to our new viewers that JJ is the type of person that if everything is running right and fine and nothing is going wrong, he's going to fix it.
No.
I mean, because you're going to fix it.
So I have so much free time. I was like, you know what I need is a side project. I was talking to my brother the other day, and I was like, I'm doing stuff and trying to make videos or whatever. And he's like, you should just play some games. People play games all the time. And I have been playing a game, but I don't stream it. And I'm like, I'm just not really that kind of guy. But I've been playing this game called The Division from 2016. Have I told you about this game?
Yes.
It's crazy.
I played it a while ago.
The story is nuts because it's like, oh, this is the 2020 pandemic, except it was a game 4 years before. So I thought, you know what would be kind of fun for me, and maybe none of you would be if I just played.
Sorry.
Yeah, if I played through the entire campaign, like on my other channel. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm starting that. I'm going to do JJ Plays The Division, and I started at the beginning, and I'm just going to play all the way through the game, however long it takes. And then, once that gets done, if there's like, let's say 5 viewers, I'll do another game. Anyway, that's what I'm doing. So
5 viewers, huh?
I set Rumble Studio up to stream that. So
anyway, I do have to hand it to you. Mm-hmm. I do have to say, because, me and Dave both were picking at you there about your 5 viewers. You'll continue to do it. Wait a minute. I do have to say, though, the UMCOC podcast, the Unofficial Marvel Contest Champions podcast, when it first started, it probably had 5 listeners.
Probably.
And Sinister was one right there. And at one time, wasn't our numbers, what was our numbers? I mean, it was like 30,000.
It was like
it was a bunch.
We would have any given episode would have somewhere between like 1,500 listens or like 7,000 to 8,000 listens. But the rolling, like, because it would do the show every single week, so the rolling 3-month average was that every show would get like, I don't know, 10,000, 20,000 listens.
Yeah, that's what I thought. We had some high 20,000s on some.
When I did Sinister Sunday School, I got that thing up to like 125 listeners from like 12 different countries, and I thought, dang, this is awesome. I just don't care.
I know.
I enjoyed doing it, but it took a lot of time for sure.
I have a goal with the JJ Plays channel, which is I have to get to 50. If I get to 50 viewers, then I can have like a URL. Then I can be like, hey, it's easy to go there. Like, just like it is easy to go to rumble.com/JJW. That's what I need. I need 50 suckers to sign up on
just
Rumble.
Like and subscribe.
Please.
That's right. All right.
Please. Anyway, okay. Before we talk about the news, and boy, do we got some news. Every episode, Deacon learns us a little bit about culture and music, and this week's theme has been daddies and daughters.
Yeah, this week, and it's really weird, because some weird things have happened with this week. Okay, so you guys both sent me a clip, the link to Jeremy Renner, who's actor, plays Hawkeye in the Avengers. And it was him and a song called Wait that is our song today. Let's hit the little thing. JJ made this just special so it wouldn't be over your head anymore, but it don't say song of the
Did
day
I
up
do
there
that?
anymore. I don't know. It did say
Oh
song
no,
of the day over his head,
hold on. It's on
but
the
it
wrong
doesn't
thing.
anymore. But
Let's see.
anyway, the song is Jeremy Renner, "Wait." If you
There you
haven't
go.
heard this, it's a cute song. I mean, it's a pretty song. I like it. I don't know if he's got a professional career in singing, but he has a nice voice. You know,
I think he's had a
he's got a
band
better
for a
voice than
long
I
time.
do.
He's a really talented musician. I don't know if when he was on Saturday Night Live a couple years ago, he did a song on piano, and he
I
sang
thought
about how Hawkeye doesn't have any powers, and
yes, I've seen that. Okay, yes, that's right.
it was
I've
great. I mean,
I
he's
thought
good.
I'd seen him play guitar in something as
He does.
well,
He plays
like
guitar. He
electric
plays
guitar
piano.
really well. Yeah.
He's a threat.
Hawkeye was always one of my favorite. I was like, he's so underrated, man. He's
And
just
he's a lefty.
yeah. So listen to this song. It's really pretty. It's about his daughter. And so y'all sent me that and we decided, hey, let's just do next week about daddies and daughters. And then I didn't realize until like Monday, I was like, oh my gosh, my youngest daughter's birthday is Wednesday, you know? So I'm playing songs
Right.
about daddies and daughters, and that was the first little thing. Well, Wednesday, I got an email and they were like, Shenandoah, you know the country band Shenandoah? You know, 2 Dozen Roses and, Bubba if Bubba can't dance, I can too, you
I
know,
think I
you
think
would know.
I've
They
heard it.
were a
Yeah,
country
yeah, yeah.
group in the '80s and '90s, and, their lead singer is Marty Rabin, and Marty Rabin, their Shenandoah is playing here close to us here this weekend, and they called me or he sent me an email Wednesday, and they're like, "Hey, do you wanna interview Marty Rabin?" And I was like, "Absolutely, I wanna interview Marty Rabin." So, they were like, "We'll do it tomorrow." So yesterday, after I got off doing this podcast with you and did my little thing, I had to interview Marty Rabin. And
Oh wow.
and so it was I got 10 minutes. I usually get 10 to 12 minutes with these celebrities and famous people to interview them. That's usually the normal 10 to 12 minutes. Sometimes we go 15. Me and Marty Rabin talked for 25 minutes
Wow.
about music and everything. It was great. It was a really good interview. But I forgot he got burned out with Shenandoah because they were touring like 300 days a year at one point. So he quit the band, and him and his brother formed a little band. They recorded one album in the 90s called they were the Rabin Brothers. That's the name of the album, the Rabin Brothers. And they covered a Bob Carlyle song called Butterfly Kisses, and it did pretty well on the radio. Butterfly Kisses is about his daughter. It's about his little girl. And I thought, man, this is so weird, you know, because I had mentioned the Butterfly Kisses talking to him and whatnot. And I thought, oh, so this is your bonus song today is this one, Bob Carlyle, but the Rabin brother, Marty Rabin's got such a pretty voice. And he still
So
does today.
reality is bending entirely and the zeitgeist is collapsing upon our just saying, hey, let's do daddies and daughters songs. And then
Yeah.
like all the reality, it's just like somebody said, hey, I just got a new Volkswagen, whatever, and you'd see them suddenly all over, the
Okay,
road
so do
everywhere.
you see how when you say things, you can manifest things as well? That's like what Christians call the power of prayer, you know,
Mhm.
but when you say things, you can kind of have it happen to you, you know?
That's
Also
one way to
called
look at it.
bias.
Yeah.
So that's why I get on your ass every time you start talking about giving AIs freaking weapons and letting them eat dead bodies to refuel themselves. Don't put that shit in the air.
I'm just saying we have to convince people that we need to actually take the threat down. We don't need to be fighting a war in Ukraine. We need to fight a war against calculators.
Get them where it
All right.
counts.
And we got an AI news story later today. I think a couple of them maybe, but we're not going to start there. We're going to start and we're going to be, this is going to be one of them shows that I put together stories while I was dressing my kids. So the stories are not in order, but we got a few great stories to talk about today. But we're going to start off with the good news. You see, you get good news, and then later you get some like, but we're going to cleanse the palate. We're going to have good news first. And then later, I promise you, you're going to go, oh.
Do I need to get napkins for later or
Yeah.
something? Some wet wipes or something?
Yeah.
Have those on standby?
No. Well,
I'm
some
scared.
people out there
See what I have.
definitely need some Clorox bleach, Maybe a flamethrower. Okay, anyway.
Any
Elon
hand
Musk is
sanitizer?
proposing Tesla buckets of hand sanitizer. Musk is proposing Tesla reincorporate in Texas after Delaware voids his pay package. First of all, I didn't even know a judge in Delaware could say, "Oh, you can't have your paycheck." That's a thing that can happen. This story happened a couple days ago. Apparently, Elon Musk had some contract or something where he was going to get somewhere north of $55 billion as his compensation for owning Tesla.
Or what he paid for Twitter.
Yeah, something like that.
I
And
don't know how much he paid.
I didn't, and I didn't dig into his paycheck story. I was just like,
That's
well, that's screwed up.
X, formerly Twitter, to you.
Sorry. Well, he
Yeah.
paid for Twitter. He didn't pay for X.
Good point.
Yeah, that's true.
Semantics. That's great. That's good,
So,
sir.
so can I point out that Elon is a genius because
Yes.
He is.
this is, I mean, just to say Texas and put on a cowboy hat and say I'm going to bring this crap to Texas right now when most of the country is wanting to stand up. This is such good media, man. This is good press all day long. Just by putting on a cowboy hat and saying, "Yeah, yeehaw."
I mean, thinking about what he sells, specifically with Tesla, electronic vehicles, right? So he's going to go to Texas, which is known for oil.
Yeah, but we got Tesla plants here too. Look,
Yeah,
we'll
yes,
make all
and
kinds
you
of
might
stuff.
have the headquarters there, but it just, dude's either really smart or really
oil will never go away as much as they want it to. It just won't. That's a fact. I've watched a documentary called Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, and it is a pretty accurate documentary on. I mean, it's. Have y'all seen that?
Oh yes.
Yes.
Please, you know what I mean.
It's been a while since I've watched it.
I'm a big fan of Master Blaster. So, man, yeah. So the Biden administration, the left, they're all saying you all have to have electric vehicles, no more gas cars in 2035 or whatever. And the company that makes the only good electric vehicles is moving to Texas. And then Texas is going to take a big old saw, and we're just going to cut around the border of Texas, and we're going to make it'll be the United States of Texas,
razor wire all the way around Texas.
Yeah.
You know, that's funny you say the United States of Texas, because we were talking about that last night, and we were looking at that little map. It was actually that meme that Brian put in the
Civil War.
Put it in there.
Yeah.
In the I just want to bring it up and show the people what I'm talking about. It's one of our really good listeners.
Brian, it's the best.
Where's the damn? Oh, there it is. Brian puts the good stuff in there. So you'll see it says the red is pro Texas, the blue is the Federalist states, and then there's Texas. And so we were talking about that, and I was laughing.
It was titled Civil War 2.0 or something like that. Civil War 2.
Yeah, Civil War 2. And I was telling that, it's like the Federalist states. We started talking about that. I said, what would they be called? The United States under Texas, or it wouldn't be would it be the United States and then the Federalist States of America?
It'd be the States United for Texas.
SUFT. Shut the fuck up. Is that shut the fuck up? No, that's close.
I got a production note here. My wife says that she likes my face, so that's good. Thank you, honey.
That's one. Helpful. So you've got one.
Hey, have I asked you to like and subscribe? Have you subscribed? She's not. She's not.
Of course. Mine don't worry. Mine hasn't either.
You know what? There's an entire untapped potential of your family that we haven't gotten to subscribe on this show.
She's like, you do what now every morning at 8:00?
My wife's already at work. She doesn't listen.
Anyway, getting back to being serious, I started looking at that. I started looking at that map, and I'm like, okay, there's blue states here, and there's red states here, and more in the center, and going up north and whatnot. What happens if, and I'm one of these? I'm the storyteller here. Okay,
yeah.
Ooh, let's tell a story. What happens if it really gets really, really bad? So they're going to separate. So the it's really not most south, most north, because it's kind of half and half. If you look at that here, let me pull up the damn map again. I just shut
Yeah,
it.
pull it back up because I thought that
It's
was
really kind of
a
half
great
and
image.
half.
Let's
You know,
study it. Let's
because
study it.
you've
There
got
are
here. Let me
25 states plus Texas that have gone with Texas. Um, there are 27 Republican states or have a
Okay.
Republican governor.
Do you guys think there's any yet that would change sides and join us, or
Well, the
leave?
election's in
yeah.
November.
Yeah, there will be. But
I mean, I can see
what I was
Kansas maybe.
proposing was what happens when if things get to, to the worst possible scenario, these states here that are blue
Yeah.
could very well be forcibly turned red. Forcibly is the word that I would
I wouldn't
use.
want to do that though.
I know, but I am just a student of history.
Right.
And we are not as civilized as we want to think we are. When we
Right.
read history and we read about, oh, this barbaric stuff that they did, they sacrificed children back then. That's so barbaric. We're better than that. Yeah, we're better than that. We've turned it into a business. We're a lot better. We're the exact same as they are. So
Well, I mean, you got a
it
lot of
very well,
you
and
got
that's where my brain goes.
geography, you got resources, you got transportation, right? So, uh, Texas is unique in this. We have our own electric grid. Doesn't work all the time. Okay, yeah, we had you know what? We fixed that stuff. And we fixed it.
Did
It
you?
works better this year. ERCOT, yeah. So we have our own
Okay.
electric grid. We have tons of oil. We have tons of people, and we have tons of and we like to shoot stuff. So, like, we got a lot of the basic resources available to us. Um, a lot of the other states there, you guys got if you got three
You guys even
sides,
got
like,
seafood, man.
yeah, we got shrimp.
Y'all got fresh seafood.
Yeah, pretty well, certainly,
Certain
probably. Well,
parts. And y'all
yeah,
have
certain
real
parts.
Mexican food? What doesn't Texas have? You're
Texas got
convincing
everything, dude.
me.
Why don't you come down here? Come down here.
I
You can
love
do
the
radio from
bluegrass
Texas.
state. I'm a hillbilly through and through,
Yeah.
but you're selling a really nice load of goods here, son.
Yeah. Yeah. We got tourist stuff to do. We got amusement parks. We got all kinds of things. Okay. So, but you have geography. Like, if you look at that photo, you got Kansas blue in the middle. It's surrounded by red, red, red. Well, you know what? When all of your neighbors are red and they won't trade with you, maybe you change your opinion a little bit. That's exactly what happened to Texas in the Civil War. The Civil War, Texas, I think slavery was allowed or whatever. But you know what? We weren't like, it wasn't like Texas was like radically pro-slavery. No, everybody around us was a slave state, and it was like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna be the one down here fighting behind enemy lines or something. So I'm no Civil War historian, but I mean, part of
I
it
can
is
tell.
geography. Part of it is geography.
I'm just teasing you, dude.
Part of it is the people around you. Anyway, I don't want the United States to crumble, but if the United States insists on burning itself down, I don't mind putting up some more reservoir.
How many states were there during the Civil War? 27?
Historian.
I don't know that. Yeah, I don't know off the top of my
Okay,
head.
I don't.
That's about right. It was a little over half, or it was a little, yeah, it was a little over half,
Okay.
I think, of how many states we had at the time.
Well,
And according to some people, and I've had people argue to the tooth and bone with me on this,
What?
but according to some things that I have read and talked to, and people that I have talked to, Kentucky had filed all of the correct paperwork to secede and join the South, and
really?
at the Capitol, they put it through all kinds of bullshit and delayed it. So they just delayed it. They just threw it away, and basically, they sent it through so much stuff that Kentucky never officially had those paperworks filed correctly, but everything was signed, and we are
So there
going to
was
do so.
So that's the thing about inertia, right? Like, you guys were a state in the Union, and
Number
that's the
36.
inertia. So like
Dave, I'm
the
sure was taught this too. Us as kids were taught that Kentucky was a half and half state.
Yeah, I was taught we were a neutral state.
Mm-hmm.
mm,
Mm-hmm.
neutral.
So, yeah, we were half and half.
Hmm.
We supplied soldiers from both sides.
Oh.
We featured very prominently on the Underground Railroad. There is a buddy of mine has some property that he bought for hunting, and the story goes right next to his property, there's this paved area that was a part of the Underground Railroad.
Oh wow.
There's stuff that's been found in there, and this is just cool.
And there's even there's a very popular slave house. I don't know if it's still there, but it was in southern Illinois. It was
Right.
we
Yeah.
used to talk about it in school because the one slave that was down there, the one because they talk about this one particular guy was like 6'8". He was humongous, and he was the bull. He didn't do anything. He was the bull, and he lived in this house.
Oh yeah, I know you've talked about that before. Well, this isn't really about the old Civil War because the next Civil War is probably not going to be anything like the old Civil War. Most civil wars in the world are within a state, and you have factions fighting for control of central power, right? And the for our first Civil War was a bunch of different states aligning against each other. That it's not the next Civil War is not going to be like that was. It's going to be a lot more like factions of political factions which didn't exist as strongly. They're going to be fighting for centers of power, right? So they're going to be fighting for controls of cities, controls of resources, things like
Well,
that.
it's very
If it even
convenient
comes to
that
that.
that you can get Americans to fight other Americans, and
Yeah.
then while you have 9 million freaking foreigners in the country as well.
Yeah. It's like somebody maybe should think that through before just letting everybody come in the house.
Or it's like a giant.
Watch here, watch here. Woo.
I started to say it's like a giant octopus monster is trying to
Thing
conduct his
is,
marionette
you
play.
think the octopus monster has like a massive brain and it's coordinating things. I think the octopus monster is retarded. I
You
think it
can't
doesn't know
control
what it's doing.
everything. You have to just kind of push
Yeah.
things in the right direction, and if it gets off course, you have to steer it back somehow.
Yeah, I think y'all talked about this the other day. Why you can't control everything, you can present options that both benefit you.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
someone
like
said,
like
for
every election.
parenting, want my kids to go to bed. I don't remember. I don't think this was you all. But if I want my kids to go to bed, I can either say, "Y'all can go to bed right now," or "I'll let you stay up for 15 more minutes." Which do you want to do? Either way, I'm winning. I've given them two options, and one just delays the inevitable by a few minutes, but I win.
That sounds like something I say every night, which is, well, you can go to bed right now, or I can read you a story and then you can go to bed. And they
Yeah,
always choose the
you're in
story and they get
control.
sleepy and they go to bed.
You're in control in both of those
Yeah.
options.
Okay, so back on topic. We're not gonna go. We're not doing a civil war. Okay. We're
Good.
just Texas is just attracting all of the good stuff in America, and we're just gonna bring it all here, and then later we might leave.
On the spaceship?
It's not a civil. No, not a civil war. It's not a civil war. We're just because we have a contract that says like
Oh, my
like we can be our
Lord.
own country.
Let's
So we're gonna take all the stuff and then close the doors. Anyway, okay. So Elon Musk polled on Twitter, and everybody on Twitter said, "Yeah, Tesla should be incorporated in Texas." So that's the way he does things. Sometimes he makes major decisions based on Twitter democracy. Good job, Elon.
Ex
All
democracy.
right. Hey, I promised you guys some ew. Guess what's next? Capitol Police have decided that they will not file charges against the two men in the Senate gay porn scandal. Do you recall that there was a congressional staffer who videoed himself enjoying the company of some other people
Well,
in the halls of Congress? I'm
I
not
had
scrolling this shit down.
completely forgotten that and burned those cells away from my brain, and it wasn't until this very moment,
Yeah.
before you pulled it up, that I was reading the headline of the story and thought,
Yeah.
"Oh, Jesus."
Yeah. The
I
Capitol Police are
understand
like,
where
oh,
the
no
wet
charges are
wipes.
filed. What is this? What kind of country do we live in? That if you go wave a Trump flag at the on the grounds of the Capitol, you go to jail for ever for insurrection. But if you I don't know. Do you guys got maybe a family safe analogy for what this guy did in the halls of Congress?
Well, see, a long time ago, this has not happened. This isn't the first time this has happened in cities that
Sure,
we don't
sure.
officially know of, because there was a couple of cities a long time ago in history, Sodom and Gomorrah, that
Yeah.
same things were happening to in those cities as well. So
The only the thing that really frustrates me with this is his comment was he said he was attacked because of who he loves. And
no,
no, not at
no,
all.
don't care.
You are getting all the backlash because of what you did, or I'm sorry, where you did what you did.
Where you did what you did,
And
where you
you're
did
going to
it.
be ridiculed because you videotaped it and it got leaked, or
You
someone
video
videotaped it and it got leaked.
exactly, exactly.
There has to be a sacred area. Forget Sodom and Gomorrah for just a minute. Phineas was this priest's son, and there were two individuals that were doing the deed in the temple, or no, in the tabernacle. And Phineas went in with like a giant javelin and impaled the two of them and brought them out, because there are some places that should be sacred, and
Yeah.
not and sacred. I don't mean holy. Sacred. It's set apart for a specific task. This is in a room where they do like deposition. This is in a room where Mark Zuckerberg attempts to apologize.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That's right. I mean,
So
So-
I'm like,
even Kurgan wouldn't attack on sacred ground.
Right? This guy is worse than Kurgan.
This
Man, I
guy's
love that
worse
movie.
than Kurgan.
It's better to burn out than to fade away. It's one of the best movies ever. I was thinking, and I don't know why
Highlander, for those of you that don't know what we're
Okay.
talking
Yeah,
about.
Highlander
Thank
came up
you.
the other day. Oh, you know what? It was neurotic.
I have seen
posted
those
on
movies,
Twitter
I
that
just-
he was showing his kid the movie Highlander or whatever, and kid thought it was 8 to 10 or whatever. I was like, man, I love that movie. And then I started thinking about like movies
Love
that
the
I
series.
love, and the TV series, yeah, that was very
It was good.
90s.
It was
Yeah,
good. In the
yeah.
90s, it was good.
Here's the thing. I am of the perspective that the movie Highlander is the only movie that there was. There were no other movies. None of them were good.
All right.
And
They
I
got
don't,
worse.
and I did not love the Highlander TV show. Although
Okay.
at the time there was the chick spinoff that was she was kind of hot, but that was way
Chick
back then.
spinoff.
Yeah, there was a spinoff of Highlander show. Come on, you don't know your lore.
No, we
I
don't.
guess not.
I'm
ready for the reboot.
Short hair, blonde. Anyway,
Yeah, I'm ready
Highlander,
for a
great
reboot of
movie.
Highlander, a retelling. Give me
Oh,
some
you're gonna get one.
characters.
With
Yes, we are.
Henry Cavill.
Oh, really?
Ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know
Yes.
that. Okay, sweet.
And
That's a good
Yeah.
choice.
I hope it's good.
this is a better story than what we were just talking about. So can we keep talking about the Highlander?
Oh, do you want to go back to the
No.
Nope.
No,
guys
no.
getting pegged in the chamber?
Gross.
Sacred places, y'all.
I would,
Sacred
rather
places.
talk about, I would rather talk about people getting their heads cut off with swords.
No. All right, man. Highlander is a great movie. Okay,
Yeah.
Highlander is in my for real is in one of my top 5 movies of all time. Probably Highlander
Okay.
and John Carpenter's The Thing.
It's a good one.
It is so good.
All right.
And then
Godfather 2, Godfather 1, The Matrix,
The Matrix.
Oh no, my list is like
Empire Strikes Back.
my number one favorite movie of all time. Anytime anybody asks me what's your favorite movie of all time, easy, Airplane. My all-time favorite movies are mostly stupid comedies. The Jerk.
Oh, this is a slight segue from Airplane, but it does connect sort of.
Yeah.
I've been listening to Dungeon Crawler Carl, which is a audiobook series on Audible.
Okay.
And the Carl's voice, the guy who does it, it could be Leslie Nielsen if he were still alive. It could be Bruce Campbell. it could be Duke Nukem, but basically take Logan's Run, add in elements of Hunger Games, add in just video game overplay type stuff. It's um, yeah, game lit RPG is what the genre is. Amazing, amazing.
Put a note in the chat so that people can look that
I
up.
will.
I
But I want to hear Leslie Nielsen doing it. It would be amazing.
You said Leslie Nielsen. I have been setting up. I haven't told this to anyone. All right, so and my son doesn't watch this, so he will never know. But I have been setting up a joke with my son for several months now, and he's
Surely you're not serious.
no, not that one. But it is a Leslie Nielsen line from the movie Airplane. And he'll be in there in his room. Like he'll come out, we'll eat supper, and he'll sit and we'll talk. And then about that time, we call her his wife, his girlfriend, will call, and he'll retreat to his room for the rest of the night. And at some point before I go to bed, I will open his door and stick my head in, and he's lying on his bed, talking on his phone every single time they're FaceTiming. And I'll go, I just want to let you know we're all counting on you. And then I'll close the door. And he has no clue what I'm doing or what I'm saying, but he knows I've done that like 6 or 7 times in the past 2 or 3 months. And when he sees that movie, when he finally sees that movie, it's all going to click. And my joke is finally going to pay off. Yes, it's going to pay off.
I love a long setup.
Yes, this one's a marinator. So I'm setting that one up right now.
All right. Well, hey,
some stories.
Yeah. Speaking of airplanes, we've had a lot of news stories lately about airplanes, like
Indeed,
them falling apart and stuff. Okay. So I found this morning. Apparently, diversity politics might be undermining federal air traffic control skill-based testing. So there's a few jobs in the So there's a few jobs in the world where you're like, really, people should that job should be based in like maybe entirely on performance, and instead of like getting the workforce to represent the greater population by demographics and being racist outwardly, because that's what DIE is. It is being racist and giving racial preference to otherwise equal whatever. Says the white man.
You know we disagree on this.
Here we go. A lawsuit that has flown under the radar for years shows how the Federal Aviation Administration undermined skills-based tests to help select air traffic controllers in an effort to promote workforce democracy. The FAA has pledged to continue diversifying its workforce under DEI and accessibility goals. At the same time, in December 2013, thousands of students who had participated in the FAA's Collegiate Training Initiative, a program specifically designed to prepare individuals to become air traffic control specialists, were informed that their previous scores on cognitive and skills-based tests, known as the ATSAT, would be discounted. Instead, these students would have to pass a biographical survey before retaking the cognitive portion of the test. What the program graduates did not know is that only 14% of those students would pass the new biographical questionnaire, despite half of them having previously passed the skills-based test and met all of the FAA pre-qualifications to be referred on to the next step of becoming air traffic control specialists. So, otherwise, we would have had a pool of this many people to become air traffic controllers. And after we added biographical tests, we have this large of a pool. Does that? But the pool kind of looks more like American doing graphics. Is that good or bad?
That's bad because you're a white man, so shut the fuck up.
Oh, okay.
If accommodations can be made, legit accommodations can be made to equal the playing field for an individual, okay with it, and only in those circumstances. I mean, the individual has to hit all the benchmarks. Like we had, and you all can look this up. There's a great story online. An officer Well, he went off to the academy. He passed every single benchmark. He did everything. And the very last day, graduation day, they pulled his name because he has one hand. And he has a nub on the base of his hand. So he has to use, I think it's an assist for his reloader. Everything else, he meets the expectations. Push-ups, pull-ups, all the physical stuff. The shooting is all great. Kid played on the football team in town here when he was in high school. I watched him play, and I mean he received. I'm like, dude, he's awesome. He's played on the basketball team, and he's good. But so he has an accommodation that helps him, if I remember correctly, with his reload. That's it. It levels the playing field for him. I don't think he should be excluded because he doesn't have two hands.
For being
there are
exactly.
My wife, because she works with deaf individuals all the time, she's very passionate about this, and so she and I have kind of disagreed a little bit, but I've come to her side of the argument now.
Okay.
Of a deaf individual not being hired for, like, say, working in a kitchen because the kitchen's a busy place and they can't hear. Honestly, in the middle of a kitchen when it's really going, nobody can hear anything anyway.
Right.
So what kind of accommodations can you make to level the playing field? If accommodations can be made, you should make those accommodations and then go for it. Not everybody is going to fall under that category. Some people want a job just because they have this diversity or this.
Wouldn't you think the goal of diversity would be to expand the pool rather than constrain it?
Yes, it should expand the pool, but there has to be. Yeah.
What's up?
No, I was listening to y'all. No, the problem is my thought's gonna leave. Yeah, no. That's why I interrupt and stuff sometimes. Ashley knows that. I'm sorry that I interrupt you sometimes, but I'm the person that my brain's going 3 million miles an hour and my thought just disappears. The problem is the job. Okay, the job is an air traffic controller, you said?
Yeah.
And that skill probably involves someone that is a quick thinker, you know, and that is that someone that is not going to be like my ex that has to ask every fucking question in the world before she makes a decision. They're going to be a decision maker. Okay. So you're probably going to want to use those. So why would I disqualify the person that is that because they are a certain color, because I want more people that are all colors of the rainbow, you know, because that is a job that you don't want to fuck around on. If we're talking about somebody that's going to go on drive-through and work drive-through tonight, yeah, I don't care what. Yeah, that's fine. But on this, I wouldn't hire a deaf person to work at my radio station on the air. I would hire them to do something else, but I would not hire someone deaf to work on the air.
That makes sense.
Unless they're just pushing buttons for the songs that are in queue, they don't have to do anything else. I mean,
I could hire a deaf person to work on the air, but it would be a menial job that would be benefit to them or my station.
In my mind, the issue here is that like it says for only 14% of the class that would pass the previous would now pass the new one. You're not expanding the universe of candidates for this job that are highly qualified. You're winnowing it. You're making it a lot smaller.
That's my problem. And this is a job where you kind of want somebody
this is a
that's
high-stress job.
Yeah, it has people's lives in if you're not paying attention. The people's lives are in danger. This is not freaking working at the public garbage dump.
Is any of that saying like, oh, these people shouldn't have this job because they're black or Indian or no? I want somebody that can make sure that planes don't run into each other and fall apart.
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking for. All right. Let's see. We are running short of time. Oh, we got an update on we haven't done this story in a while. It seemed like California decided it wasn't a good idea. A little while back, you'll recall Governor Newsom put a task force in place and said, hey, we should investigate, maybe consider the notion of reparations in the state of California. And Lord. some people were like, hey, we should do 8. I know. some people were like, hey, we should give $8 billion out. And okay, sure, whatever, California, do what you need to do. The California Legislative Black Caucus announced a package of 14 slavery reparations, including an exemption to the state's constitutional ban on racial preferences and discrimination.
I don't know
Notably,
any of that shit you just said.
yeah,
Will you make a TLDR
yeah.
for me real quick?
Yeah. Here it comes. They are working on this legislation for slavery reparations, and one of the things that they are doing in this process is they've decided maybe not to include cash payments. So whatever slavery reparations are going to be, it's not going to be cash in your pockets, Californians. Instead, they're going to just smuggle
This is the dumbest shit that we could have. Oh my God, this is the dumbest shit.
All right, I see you don't like that one.
No, this is just dumb. What the fuck?
All right, how about this story? Texas passed a law outlawing DEI last year, and as a direct consequence of this unfair law, culturally specific graduation ceremonies are now canceled at the University of Texas. So you can now not have an only Black graduation and an only Hispanic graduation and a only whatever other culture people. You guys are just going to have to all graduate together if you're at the University of Texas. I know
that's racist that we can't have a racist graduation.
Yeah, they won't let us segregate like we want to. Okay,
and that once again is the complete. That's another underline on my statement of everyone made C's in history class. I'm just putting another underline on that statement right there, right now. Just that's 20.
All right. We got, I think, at least two AI stories. I'm not sure if this one counts yet, but it's good enough for this.
Which button?
Where's the thing at? Where's my video?
Push the button.
Where's my video?
There's that.
Somebody messed up my video.
I didn't touch it. I only have guest access.
Beep, bop. Beep, bop, boop. This is AI News.
I swear one of you touched
it stuttered.
All right.
Was lost my coffee.
Does this count as AI News? I'm not sure. Chuck E. Cheese announces a new band residency in Northridge, California. Now, this will be the only place in the country, according to this Chuck E. Cheese press statement, the only place where you can watch the animatronic band at Chuck E. Cheese. Does this count as AI, guys?
Absolutely. Mr. Munch and Jasper Jowls and Helen Henry and Pasquale are all live, real robots. So I've seen them play.
If their band is not called the Limburgers, it does not count.
It's not. It's the what's the name of the band? I forgot.
It's the cheese.
It's Munch's Make Believe Band.
Yeah, so we are old enough. We are the old geezers. We're old enough. We had the predecessor to Chuck E. Cheese. When I was a child, I went to Showbiz Pizza.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I forgot about that.
Pizza was the Chuck E. Cheese bought Showbiz and basically turned it around. So Mr. Munch used to be a gorilla that sat up there and played the keyboards. And Pasquale was a rat, I think. And because Chuck E. Cheese, it was there was somebody else over there, but it was all of they all kind of stayed the same but took over. But I wanted to bring this up. I had a different story. No, you have the story. So scroll down there on that story, JJ.
My wife and I's first date was to Chuck E. Cheese.
I loved Chuck E. Cheese's pizza. Like I would go to eat Chuck E. Cheese's pizza, man. It was good pizza.
We did that, then we went to the movies.
Yeah. Well, that freaked me out.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to every kid that ever went to Chuck E. Cheese too.
Hi, everybody.
I'm not playing the music, but this is what the experience was like.
December 12th.
Look at that eyeball.
I love making pizzas and playing drums, but nothing makes me
Kids are no longer going to
We're
have
watching the
access to
birth
the
of Five Nights at Freddy.
Chuck E.
for
Cheese's
real.
birthday stars.
Pause that.
And this
Turn
is
it
Mr.
down or
White.
something.
Oh, I thought it was. Oh, I can't
No,
hear
it
it.
was
I
loud
thought
as
there was
hell.
no music.
It was loud.
Sorry.
So did you guys as kids ever sneak up there and look under the curtain to see what they were doing? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There
that
used
was-
to be one that had like a cheese cutouts that was underneath the stage that you could, well, at least there was where I was, that you could go like as if you were a little kid, you could go underneath the stage and it was
And then when you came out, your hands smelled like urine.
yeah. That
True
was not a
story.
clean place for kids.
Nope. Where they built immunities.
Yeah, you don't let the kids in the ball pit. So go
No.
back out to the story. I want to
Yeah,
show
yeah,
you
yeah.
something. As I was reading this story today, I got down to the bottom of the story. And the bottom of the story here, let me pull it up.
I got it here. I just had to change pages. Okay.
So the bottom of the story, you see that right there that says Nathan's thought bubble. Whatever will we do without being able to eat greasy pizza while watching a rat play music? And
Oh.
when I read that, I thought, I don't know why that sentence made me mad this morning, but that made me angry. And I was
Did it
like,
really?
okay, Nathan, who are you? And then I looked up Nathan Bomey. Nathan Bomey is let me just, I'm just going to bring up his picture.
30-year-old.
I'm just going to bring up his picture and
Yeah.
you tell me what party affiliation with the government you think he supports.
Is he wearing like a flower shirt under a sports jacket? That's a Democrat right there.
He's wrote a book against Trump. He's wrote 2 or 3 books, and he does not have any children and is not married. Every single bio that I have read about him, because I looked him up, I was like, bitch,
Yeah.
I got the internet. I know how to internets. So I started looking, and I was looking at, I read his bio on like 4 different things. It was 4 different bios too. It wasn't a copy and paste. And not once did it say anything about
dating site.
kids or
Right.
or a wife. And I'm sorry, as all 3 of us are dads, as parents,
Uh-huh.
if you list your bio, you're listing your kids and your
Yep.
wife is married and has 3 kids.
Well,
or has
if
a
you
daughter.
don't have those things, then you really don't care about Chuck E. Cheese.
That's exactly
For
right.
real.
I
Like,
mean,
why?
So,
So who,
it's-
so that's
this
what
guy,
I'm
you know,
getting-
this guy got this assignment and he was like, I don't want to write this. at
You're
all.
exactly right. So this is what I'm bringing up. This guy wrote a piece downing, he down in the Chuck E.
Like
Cheese.
3 sentences too. It was nothing.
But this is 90% of all of the things that we get fed to us are fed to us from people that do not know our lifestyle. He's down in Chuck E. Cheese, but parents loved Chuck E. Cheese. That crap.
Yeah, you know
Unless you
why?
had
Because
unless you
for,
had one
like-
like your youngest daughter that
Yeah,
hated
she's already
robots.
afraid of it. Yeah, but for like 15, 20
For
minutes,
now.
maybe your kids wouldn't be screaming at you. They'd be screaming at some arcade machine.
And they'd be playing, and you go play, take some tokens,
It's
go
safe in
play.
here. There's food. You can play, and I can breathe. I can
And
have like,
yeah,
I can collect
Yeah.
my thoughts.
and this guy don't have kids. So these are the types of people that are writing the stories and are trying to influence your mind
Yeah.
all the time to think this way. Oh, this is no big deal that a rat's going away. I
You
was
know what?
actually upset when I heard. I was like, Paducah don't have the robots anymore at Chuck E. Cheese. I hadn't been there in years, but I was like,
Right.
damn.
Right. Yeah. But like, how uppity is this guy? He's like, "Ugh, those common filthy people that go to Chuck E. Cheese. Ew. Ew. That's what he's
Greasy
thinking when he's
pizza.
writing that.
I liked their pizza. It wasn't a
What
Now-
pizza
now-
isn't greasy?
Exactly.
s-
Me and JJ went to New York. We asked the freaking local people. We asked several local
Where
people.
should I go to get
And
real
2
pizza here?
people recommended this
okay.
place down the street, said real good. We went down there and got a big old slice of pepper or New York pizza, got a couple of slices. I
Sorry.
wasn't impressed.
No.
When I was in New York, they said pizza is the one dish you can eat for any culture. You can get pizza for $1.50 a slice or $150 a slice. Find what you like and go for it. That's what I was told when I was in New York.
We didn't buy cheap pizza.
I got the cheap stuff.
No.
I bought the cheap stuff and I liked it.
Oh,
Yeah.
pizza. No, I didn't. And Chuck E. Cheese is not a connoisseur pizza, but it wasn't bad. I've had a lot worse.
Oh, way worse.
Chuck E. Cheese is
Pizza
about an
Hut.
experience.
Yeah. Pizza Hut used to be
The suicide drink. Every kid knows the
Yes,
suicide drink
yeah,
at Chuck E.
you'd ma-
Cheese.
yeah, we
So
called it the graveyard.
We called it suicide.
We had a place here in Texas. Now we went to Chuck E. Cheese, several times when I was a kid. A lot of times. I haven't been in decades either. Maybe 5 years ago for one of my niece's birthdays, or whatever. But we had a place in Texas called Crystals, and it was crazy. It was like a whole like. I don't even know how to explain what Crystals was. It's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. But it was like walking into a chandelier. It was like
Wow,
very decorated. I mean, it was kind of like a proto Dave and Buster's. You know what I mean? Had arcades and stuff in there, very similar. They didn't have a goofy animatronic band, but it was called, I think it was called Crystal's Palace or something like that. And that was a great pizza place and a great kind of like entertainment place. Very, very decorated in a very kind of a style, maybe a 20s style, 30s style, something Art Deco type thing. It's very cool.
Don't you miss walking into those places where you could, like back in the day when we were younger as a kid, and you walked in the arcade, and you knew there was like 30 arcades in there, and there's maybe an air hockey table.
Aladdin's Castle.
Yeah, we had a place called Jolly Time.
Aladdin's Castle.
Yeah.
Like these are not important moments for a kid, but they are great moments to have. To me, they're great memories to have.
Yeah, great memories.
Oh yeah, I went to a nasty Chuck E. Cheese, whatever. It was gross, but I had fun. It is a common memory that Americans can share. Like, look, we don't agree on immigration or this or that, but we both went to Chuck E. Cheese when we were kids, and that was fun. And those robots were creepy, and it's like a memory to share. And for this guy to just poo-poo on normal people's real lives.
Hey, let me say that guy that wrote that indie video game Five Nights at Freddy's that has become enormously that movie's really good.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I keep seeing like banners for it.
Or watch it.
My daughter didn't like it.
Really? Like a horror movie.
My daughter
she
didn't like it.
My kids like scary stuff, and my son loved.
Yeah, my kids love all the Five Nights at Freddy's
really
stuff.
Good. Yeah, it's good.
We played it in virtual reality. That freaked me out.
Played it on the PlayStation.
Yes, Five Nights at Freddy. He had
it is a movie, but it's based on an indie video game. And the indie video game revolves around you being a nighttime security guard at this place. And the animatronics have been haunted by the spirits of kids that were killed by a crazy man, or I don't remember the story. I've been told it a billion times. But in the indie game story, not the movie. So yeah, it's not bad.
All right.
Play it in the Oculus Rift. You'll
No.
What?
No, thank you. No VR horror games.
Here we go. Last AI story. Microsoft's legal department silenced an engineer who raised concerns about DALL-E 3.
Yeah, this was a cool story.
Tell us about it because I haven't read it.
Okay, so this Microsoft engineer basically said that there's some security vulnerabilities that would allow users to generate violent or explicit images similar to the ones recently targeted by Taylor Swift. And there's somebody that said that there will be new legislation brought on and things will change now with AI because Taylor Swift was getting made fun of. But this engineer basically blowed the whistle on this and brought it to their attention. And they said, well, you need to, he said, I reached the conclusion that DALL-E 3 posted a public safety risk and should be removed from the public use until OpenAI could address the risk associated with this model. He claims that he discovered an exploit allowing him to bypass DALL-E 3 security guardrails in early December. He said he reported the issue to his superiors at Microsoft, who instructed him to personally report the issue directly to OpenAI. After doing so, he claims that he learned that the flaw could allow the generation of violent and disturbing harmful images. Then he then attempted to take his cause public in a LinkedIn post. And because Microsoft is a board observer at OpenAI, I had previously shared my concerns with the leadership team. I promptly made Microsoft aware of the letter that I had posted. Microsoft's response was allegedly to demand that he remove his post. Shortly after disclosing the letter to my leadership team, my manager contacted me and told me that Microsoft's legal department had demanded that I delete the post. He told me that the legal department would follow up with their specific justification for the takedown request via email very soon, and I needed to delete it immediately without waiting for the email from legal. So he has taken this. They
Because at
investigated.
that point it was moot. They were like,
Yeah.
"Oh, he's taking it down. I have to give a reason now."
Yeah, he said he never received an explanation or justification from them. The legal department still hadn't responded to him. So yeah, kind of AI, but and there's a lot more to this that he goes through and he talks about with the.
It seems like Microsoft as a company is not concerned about public safety as much as they are protecting their brand and product.
Unless it has to make fun of Taylor Swift.
Substitute Microsoft and put in any company name.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
That's right.
The truth right there.
Well, gross. And if you guys are out there looking at those Taylor Swift images, also gross. Stop it. Maybe we need an AI to govern these AIs, because how are people going to govern AIs? How are you going to put restrictions in place? So we need an AI.
And then do you have to have an AI to govern the AI that's governing the AI?
Once again, I would like to say, quit putting this shit out into the open, JJ.
we need some AI governors, and then we're going to have the AI governors. They need to have kind of like the different AI governors need to get together and so that they can coordinate.
Cabinet, an AI cabinet.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just put robots in charge of everything. They know better than us. All right, guys. It is 9:01, and as we are obligated to do, we got some chat here. Let's see.
I haven't
Ricochet,
even been looking over there.
Do good. I hope
Skynet of sorts.
Do good. Yeah, Do good says it's a Skynet. Did that joke already. All right, we are obligated to tell a joke because we are dads. We can't leave the show without that. So I'm going to ask you, what did the mushroom say on his date?
You're a fun guy.
Yeah, you're a fun guy.
I can't believe you guessed that.
That's a good one. Yeah.
I also didn't know there was
I had a buddy that had a shirt. I had a buddy that had a shirt that said, "I'm a fun guy," and it had a mushroom with a face on it.
Do both of y'all have a date for Valentine's?
Yes.
I got 3.
It's going to be February 14th.
Oh.
It's good. We'll give you all of them. You can have all of them.
So there was this woman here recently, locally, that got into some trouble in this news story that I read about. Do y'all know that she tried to bob it her husband? You know what I say when she tried to bob it? You know what I mean?
Yep.
She tried to snippy snip the dingle dangle. And she missed.
Oh.
So she was recently charged with a misdemeanor.
All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us this week. We'll be back next Monday through Friday, 8 o'clock in the morning, to drink coffee, talk about the news, and say funny things if we can. Bye. Why is Skynet up?
Oh my God, it's taking over. What the hell?
Dude, you busted this. You son of a bitch. You're messing with my stuff.
That was amazing.